You're watching Local 4, home of clickondetroit.com. WDIV Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
It's Metro Detroit's most enduring mystery. What happened to Jimmy Hoffa? Well, tonight, a new lead linked to the late Teamsters leader's disappearance has police planning to dig up a driveway here right outside this Roseville home. Good evening. Hoffa vanished back in 1975, and since then, several theories have surfaced on where he might be.
Now, authorities do not expect to find his remains this time, but they believe this tip is credible enough that they have to investigate.
And tonight, we've got complete coverage for you. Defender Kevin Dietz will tell us what his federal sources are saying in just a moment. But we begin with Maura McDonald. She's live at the scene. The dig is scheduled for Friday.
Carmen, it sure is, but already we've got police officers patrolling the neighborhood just to keep an eye on things, because anytime you say Hoffa, it piques people's interest. What, if anything, lies beneath this concrete slab? A tipster tells Roseville police he was here in the area of this home back in 1975 when Hoffa disappeared and saw a body buried here.
We felt it was credible enough that we needed to come to this site and use a ground-penetrating radar to test the area to see if there was any sites on the property that may have, in fact, contain a grave. We did file a soil anomaly beneath the concrete slab, which is kind of unexplained at this time. It could be anything. We don't know.
Longtime neighbors who don't want to be identified say there was action at that house back in the early 70s.
Things were going on at night. Cars coming and going. Police were doing an investigation. Maybe he was doing a numbers business.
But no one can believe a body is buried here. Roseville PD don't know either, but are going to do their best to see what is here. We're
going to cut a very small hole through the concrete and then take a core sample, actually like a drill, that's going to go down X amount of feet and bring up a core of the earth.
Back here live, and then they take that core sample, take it off to be analyzed. If it tests positive for human remains, then they come back here and they dig up the entire driveway. And yes, law enforcement sources say no, they don't expect to find Jimmy Hoffa here. But if there are human remains here, who is it? We're live in Roseville tonight. Maura McDonald, Local 4.
Certainly one of among the questions we'll be looking to answer, perhaps. We'll see what happens on Friday. All right, Maura, now this would not be the first dig in the Hoffa case, and not by a long shot.
Well, in 2003, the world watched as the FBI dug at a home in Bay County. Nothing was found. In May of 2006, the media circus came to Milford, Michigan for a tip that Hoffa was buried and then a barn was built on top of him. The barn was torn down and the dig took a week. Cigarette butts were found, but no body.
Most recent search in Detroit. A tip came in 2009 saying Hoffa was buried at a home. Police found blood on the floorboards and nothing underneath. And now take a live look in Roseville, where the focus of this mystery shifts to this driveway. What will they find, if anything? Tonight, Defender Kevin Dietz takes us inside the FBI investigation, reveals what his sources are saying about this new development.
My sources tell me there's next to no hope of finding anything connected to Jimmy Hoffa at the Roseville house. You see, agents have a lot of evidence in the Hoffa case, and none of it matches up to this latest story. Expect a media circus when the dig on Florida Street gets underway. But Defender sources say don't expect to find anything connected to former Teamster boss Jimmy Hoffa. Retired agent John Anthony, who spent decades on the Hoffa case, says he isn't here.
I would say it has no credibility at all. It doesn't match up with anything that we already know. I'd say it's just another story, someone trying to get publicity or looking after a reward, something like that.
It doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons. For one, why would a high-profile, highly organized hit end up with a burial in a residential neighborhood with lots of potential witnesses and on an intersection where cars could travel down two different roads? Anthony says the FBI has very credible information. They think they know what happened to Hoffa, and it's nothing like the story being told to Roseville police.
The information that the Bureau developed over the years does not lead itself to believe that this story is very viable.
That doesn't mean there isn't something buried under the cement. If it's there, police will find it. The feds just don't think it will have anything to do with solving the Jimmy Hoffa mystery. Even the most skeptical agents will be watching closely Friday, as there is no case they would rather solve than the Jimmy Hoffa case. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
All right, thank you, Kevin. And we'll continue to follow this overnight and update you tomorrow on Local 4 News Morning at 4:30 a.m. Meantime, you can see a timeline of Hoffa's disappearance and go inside the investigation. Just go to the homepage of our website, click on Detroit.com.
New tonight, the Canadian auto workers have reached a tentative contract with Chrysler after a month of tough negotiations. CAW's president confirms the deal but did not release any details of the agreement. New deal avoided strikes and the possibility Detroit automakers would move future production south. Chrysler becomes the last of the 3 Detroit automakers to sign a deal. It's a 4-year agreement. It does still have to be ratified.
Tonight, a man accused of preying on children is behind bars, but police believe he could have more victims out there. Take a good look at this picture. Investigators want to know if your child ever came in contact with him. Our BC O'Neill joins us live tonight. BC, do we know where this happened?
Well, Carmen, 23-year-old Paul Krebs, he's accused of preying on girls primarily here in Washtenaw County, and investigators believe that he used many websites to get to these young girls, primarily Facebook. And as you mentioned, investigators want you to take a really good look at 2 of the images you're about to see on your screen. 23-year-old Paul Joseph Krebs is accused of sexually assaulting an underage girl. The Ypsilanti man faces 2 charges in that case, which involves a 16-year-old. But this investigation is far from over. The Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department wants you to take a close look at Krebs and this photo of his pickup truck because they strongly believe more victims are out there. We're told Krebs lives in a home with his parents on the 2000 block of McGregor.
I just can't believe it.
Neighbors we spoke with were surprised to hear of the criminal charges.
A younger kid?
23.
Wow.
I'm shocked because I've never seen him do anything out of the ordinary.
Investigators believe Krebs used social media websites like Facebook to prey on young girls. He'd seek out friends, and that online relationship would eventually lead to texting, if not a whole lot more. Detectives allegedly found images of teen girls on Krebs' cell phone, some without clothes. Not only do authorities believe there are more victims, it's possible this investigation could lead detectives across state lines.
Now I know who it is. That's quite surprising out of him. Quite sad too, though, because his parents are good people.
And right now, Krebs is facing several years behind bars if he is convicted of those charges. But investigators, again, they strongly believe that there are more victims out there. So if more victims come forward, well, there will be more charges, and he could face even more time behind bars. Reporting live tonight in Ypsilanti, I'm BC O'Neill, Local 4.
All right, thank you, BC. Now, if Krebs and his pickup truck look familiar to you, investigators would like to hear from you. Several alleged victims have already come forward.
A power outage leaves 2 people stuck on a scaffold in downtown Detroit tonight. Fire officials tell us the power went out at the corner of Griswold and Fort Street. There's been a lot of construction there for some time, and during that moment, a construction crew was indeed on site, and 2 workers were stuck on the scaffold. It's not clear yet when power will be restored. So the 2 men who got stuck, we're told, are continuing to work.
Why not?
Make the best of it. We'll keep an eye on it. We have jobs for you tomorrow in Bloomfield Hills. That's
right. Speaking of work, Job Fair Giant is holding the event at the Radisson Hotel. That's on Woodward Avenue. There will be 2 sessions, a morning one from 9 a.m. to noon and the second from 1 to 3 p.m. More than 40 companies will be on hand, hoping to fill as many as 500 jobs in fields ranging from nursing and engineering to computer technology and manufacturing.
Still ahead tonight, a warning for Android users. The one thing that could wipe out your photos, your videos, your text, really everything else. How to best protect your device coming up.
Plus, it's the photo that touched millions of hearts. Now it could save the lives of countless animals. We'll explain coming up. But first, Chuck, it's a little chilly out there.
Oh, it sure is, Carmen. Devin, we're down to 56 degrees, and we're not done dropping yet. The skies have been clearing all night long, so cold air is in place, and it's coming to your backyard. We'll talk to you in just a minute.
All right, Chuck. Also ahead, Kwame Kilpatrick on trial and accused of corruption, but did his wife cash in too? You'll see why the feds say the former First Lady of Detroit was being paid big money. It's a defender's investigation. Next.